We have a couple of strong to severe thunderstorms out there in southeastern portions of KELOLAND this afternoon. They've been moving either to the southeast toward Nebraska or even into the Viborg area, with a severe thunderstorm warning also extending up into the Lenox area in western portions of Lincoln County. Severe thunderstorm watch in place for everybody shaded in blue until 10 p.m. Central Time tonight, as we continue to keep an eye on the skies with this system that's going to continue to move on through. We'll talk about that, the rest of your forecast as well, coming up. But until then, First at 4 starts right now.
Live from KELOLAND Media Group, KELOLAND News First at 4.
We talked with law enforcement about four-wheeler safety after a woman died in a crash in Minnehaha County this weekend.
Plus, UPS workers in Minnesota are preparing for a possible strike after negotiations between the union and the company fell apart.
And later, we hear from an Iowa family about the struggles to make ends meet while paying for childcare. Good afternoon, and thanks for tuning in to First at 4. I'm Don Jorgensen.
And I'm Bridget Bennett. The Minnehaha County Sheriff's Office has identified the 63-year-old woman who died in a four-wheeler crash over the weekend.
Authorities say that Jane Wingert died after she crashed northeast of Sioux Falls along East 10th Street. The Sheriff's Office says that there have been very few deadly crashes involving four-wheelers this year.
However, one patrol captain we spoke with still says riders need to understand the type of equipment they're using.
We recommend that you know the machinery, you're very familiar with the four-wheeler that you're on, and then don't overdrive the machine and based on your ability or the machine's ability to handle it. They are fast, they can go really fast, but it's not always safe.
Now, you can ride four-wheelers and ATVs on the street in South Dakota as long as they're registered and licensed.
Coming up on KELOLAND News at 5, you're going to hear how one store in Sioux Falls is helping riders find their perfect fit while keeping safety in mind. The Minnehaha County Sheriff's Office also says that a man is in critical condition following a house fire near Colton Saturday night. The fire happened near the intersection of 248th Street and 455th Avenue, about 10 miles west of town. Deputies say that the 68-year-old homeowner had severe burns covering most of his body. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
A 33-year-old Sioux Falls man is behind bars accused of shooting at another vehicle in a road rage incident. Police say the incident started Sunday afternoon when the suspect vehicle cut off a car near 10th and Cliff. Authorities say the two started yelling at each other when the suspect fired a gun at the victim. Police chased after the suspect but had to stop the pursuit. Officers found the suspect later and arrested Daniel Bean Jr. on a long list of charges, including assault, drug possession, and firing a gun at a vehicle. Investigators say he was also wanted in connection with a previous assault, as well as a parole violation.
A federal judge has sentenced a Pine Ridge man to life in prison for a murder nearly 4 years ago. Back in October, a jury found Colton Bagola guilty of shooting Sloan Bulbear in the back of the head, killing him. Weeks later, Bagola made headlines again when he was involved in a standoff with law enforcement in Rapid City.
The South Dakota Fire Marshal is now investigating the explosion at an ethanol plant in Oneida that happened over the weekend. Now, the blast shut down Ring Neck Energy. 6 employees were at work at the time, but no one was hurt. It's one of the ethanol production facilities that Summit Carbon Solutions plans to serve with a carbon dioxide pipeline. State lawmakers from the area say the explosion hasn't changed their positions on whether CO2 pipelines should be able to continue using eminent domain.
All right, let's get a look at the weather. It's a little bit steamy out there today, isn't it?
It is, and some areas are already seeing some action tonight. Adam?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been keeping an eye on some stronger thunderstorms and some severe thunderstorms as well over the course of the afternoon. And when you have the heat that we've had today and the atmosphere, for lack of better terms, being juiced with higher dew points as well, that's only a matter of time before we're able to get a few storms to fire off. And we can see one of them in the distance on our Platte camera. That is a beautiful view of a storm to the southeast that we've been keeping an eye on. And speaking of storms that we've been keeping an eye on, here's a view from Yankton. This is a look to the southwest of a storm that just crossed over the river into Nebraska. A rain-cooled 73 now at the marina with a south wind at 25 miles per hour. Compare that to the, not rain-cooled 93 that we have here here in Sioux Falls, 92 Mitchell and Huron, 81 though on the cool side of that front in Aberdeen, 79 Sisseton, but 97 on the hot side again in Pierre, 96 Phillip, even 90 toward Rapid City as well as Pine Ridge. Now Yankton does have a stronger wind in place. They had those storms that just moved on through out of the south now at 25 miles per hour. To a lesser extent, Worthington and Spencer getting in on a bit of a breeze, but overall the wind has not been a huge issue, but I'm starting to see that northerly component to our winds up to the north on the backside of that front. So here is live Doppler radar. We have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings that we've been keeping an eye on. A lot of these will be in place until at least 4:15 p.m. This afternoon, including south and west of Tyndall in portions of Charles Mix and Bonham counties, and then right around the Viborg area, and then headed north and east about as far north and east as Lenox, with a couple of these storms that are continuing to race to the east by southeast at about 30 to 40 miles per hour, a 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and a quarter-sized hail. Not out of the question. In fact, the latter has been observed a couple of times in Bonham County already. Severe thunderstorm watch as far west as Bonham County, going up toward Turner, Lincoln counties, and basically everybody in northwestern Iowa in our coverage area. This will be until 10 p.m. tonight as we watch this system continue to move on through. It's not the last time we talk about showers and thunderstorms as well, not even just for southeastern KELOLAND. We'll talk about that in a little more detail as we head through the hour.
All right. Thanks a lot, Adam. Governor Kristi Noem's office has denied a request by KELOLAND News for records of the all calls made to whistleblower hotline.
In May, the governor announced the creation of the hotline so students, parents, and taxpayers and faculty could voice their complaints about the state's public universities and colleges. Noem said the information would be used to guide policy decisions moving forward.
On June 22nd, KELOLAND News reached out with a formal open records request asking the governor's office to provide records of all messages received by the tip line and records of any responses. KELOLAND clarified that in the request that we are not seeking information that would identify the people who called and that such information may be redacted or removed.
Today, the governor's office denied our records request, citing a state statute exempting records that would, quote, constitute an unreasonable release of personal information. Last year, a lawsuit forced the Virginia governor's office to turn over similar records from an email tip line to report inherently divisive practices in schools.
The South Dakota Department of Labor says that the state's annual wage grew by 5.5% compared to last year. According to the Labor Market Information Center, South Dakotans are making an average of $54,000 per year. The state says that some of the industries that saw the highest wage increase include professional and business services, financial activities, and the federal government.
UPS workers in Minnesota are showing they're serious about a potential strike at the end of the month. Members of Teamsters Local 638 held a practice picket in Minneapolis this weekend. They're part of the 340,000 UPS workers threatening to walk off the job starting August 1st. Negotiations fell apart last week, with both sides blaming each other for walking away. The union says part-time wages remains a sticking point, along with safer working conditions.
We're working to get even stronger language and stronger contracts for our people so we don't have people dying on the job every year from heat exhaustion. We need air conditioning in trucks. We need strong wages and benefits to uplift the middle class.
Last month, the union and the company did reach an agreement to equip more UPS trucks with air conditioning. In a statement, UPS says if the union refuses to negotiate, it creates significant unease among employees and customers and threatens to disrupt the U.S. economy.